internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So far, let's get right into today's video. Wow, that's all I gotta say. They can't stay silent about it anymore. Major demand is coming for XRP and Bitcoin, and we have seen nothing yet. We're gonna get into a video by Matt Hougan. He is the CEO of Bitwise, and also Cathie Wood, CEO of Arc Capital. And the closed door meetings that we talk about that take place that we don't hear about, that I always mention, well, I think we may have just put something together here. Two different scenarios, two different videos, one by Cathie Wood and then Mr. Matt. But I believe from what I'm hearing is they are ready and they're anticipating for a large amount of money to just flood into the crypto ecosystem. So first, let me share the video clip by Cathie Wood, and I'm gonna include what Matt said, just a clip of it, and then I'm gonna get into the full video of what Matt said about the demand for Bitcoin, and then I'm gonna talk about the XRP demand that's coming, that's gonna be pushed by institutions and not retail. So just to give you a rough overview how that would look like, so you get a little picture in your head, think about retail being extremely poor and chasing after Bitcoin, and now think about institutions being extremely rich, going after an efficient utility token that's going to benefit them, right? So there's two different kinds of individuals going towards these assets. You have institutionals demand headed towards XRP, and you have retail peasants that are trying to make a quick buck, that are just kind of listening to the newscasters talk about Bitcoin, and that's the investors that you have into Bitcoin. Okay, but we'll get that into a moment. But listen to what Cathie Wood says here.
We're not finished. And in fact, in our business, what's interesting is the wirehouses, which dominate our customers. So Morgan Stanley, all the advisors at these wirehouses, Morgan Stanley, UBS, Merrill Lynch at B of A, Wells Fargo, not one of them has approved Bitcoin on its platform. That hasn't even happened yet. And those are our primary clients. When that happens, wait until you see.
Explosion. I think there's an even bigger wave coming in a few months as we start to see the major wirehouses turn on. But this has been...
What's interesting is the wirehouses, which dominate our customers. So
I think there's an even bigger wave coming.
Wait until you see.
Explosion.
Wait until that happens, and then he goes on to say that is going to explode. He talks about Morgan Stanley, UBS, Wells Fargo. They're not even here yet. Let alone XRP's real use case with driven institutional demand hasn't even kicked in yet. Like, we haven't seen anything yet. And 58 cent XRP right now, look at it all you want, laugh at it all you want, say it's been doing this for a very long time. But at the end of the day, smart, intelligent individuals understand that governmental organizations like the WEF and financial institutions as well, looking to adopt a technology that is brand new, they need a long track record and data on that infrastructure for them to adopt it. They're not going to implement a technology that has data for only 5 years and then run trillions of dollars through it. That's not how it works. I mean, 10 years is still very young for them. So for them to even adopt this technology to where we're going right now is at a very fast pace, if you ask me. But now listen to what Matt Hougan says here about, just listen to when he talks about the demand for Bitcoin and, is it retail money or is it institutional money? And then I'm going to break down where the demand comes for XRP.
When you look at what's been driving this price action on Bitcoin, Matt, how much of this is retail investors investing directly in Bitcoin? How much of it is the ETF? how much of it is institutions in the ETF?
Absolutely. It's a great question. We're seeing enormous demand for the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF and across all of these ETFs. And the answer is it's all of those categories. You're seeing retail investors come into these ETFs. You're seeing hedge funds. You're seeing RIAs or independent financial advisors. I think there's an even bigger wave coming in a few months as we start to see the major wirehouses turn on. But this has been Bitcoin's IPO moment. It's in a new era of price discovery. And I think prices could go substantially higher from here.
Let's talk about where they could go in just a minute. But I just want to go back to this idea of who you think is buying these ETFs, meaning how much of this is retail versus institutions?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when these ETFs first launch, they're not turned on at the major wirehouses, at the major institutions. So the initial demand out of the gate for any ETF, including these, is primarily retail and independent financial advisors and hedge funds. So I think that's the primary driver. That's what we're seeing. Right. But I'll tell you, after this meeting, I'm getting on a plane to go talk to one of the largest institutional consultants in the U.S. about this ETF. So we're going to see that next wave of institutional capital.
You did mention hedge funds, which I will put in sort of an institutional or professional category. In terms of this big move, do you think it's that money that's pushed this, or do you think it's straight retail?
Oh, I think it's both. I think it's both. It's just new demand. If you think about Bitcoin pre the ETFs, there was only a small set of investors who could buy it. Now almost everyone can buy it, and the supply demand dynamic is just off the hook. There are 30,000 Bitcoin purchased by ETFs this week alone. Bitcoin miners have only created less than 3,000. That's what's driving the price. And it's both hedge funds and retail and that advisor community.
So while everybody's distracted and chasing after Bitcoin, XRP's moment is coming and it's right around the corner. A lot of people are going to be shocked when it happens. But let me just go over some characteristics in the difference between XRP and Bitcoin very briefly at a very simple term so you guys understand. Major demand for XRP is coming. So XRP's value will come from its utility in facilitating fast and low-cost cross-border payments. If more banks and financial institutions adopt XRP as a bridge currency, and you guys have probably all seen the bridge currency that was mentioned at a German newscaster. I mean, that was circulating, that went viral. But the demand for XRP will increase.
Wie groß ist der Druck auf die Zentralbanken, CBDCs zu implementieren? Der zeitliche Druck, so schnell wie möglich etwas zu tun gegen diesen drohenden Kollaps. Und da wird man natürlich auf das zurückgreifen, was da ist. Ripple ist da mit seinem Angebot. Und wenn die Zeit für Ripple spielt, dann kann Ripple durchaus die World Reserve Bridge Currency werden. Und es wird die
And if you just put everything together that has taken place with Ripple and XRP as the only digital asset that clarity in this world, I mean, you don't have to be a genius to figure out what's coming down the pipelines. Bitcoin's demand, on the other hand, is driven significantly by its perceived status as digital gold and a store of value, speculators. So it's not solving a real world use case. Do you understand that part? And then, of course, liquidity needs are, I mean, this is the backbone to the financial infrastructure. Without liquidity, you don't have a smooth sailing infrastructure. XRP's role as a bridge currency requires high liquidity to ensure that large transactions can be processed quickly without significantly impacting the market price. A higher price per XRP can support larger transactions with less impact on the market. And for the past 10 years, Ripple has been creating a network of institutions, payment providers, and also a network of trust is what I call it. The Ripple network, using XRP as a bridge currency, can automatically find the most efficient path for a payment to travel from sender to the recipient. I mean, it blows my mind people don't see what's coming. By using XRP as a bridge currency, institutions can reduce the amount of liquidity they need to hold in their Nostra Vostra accounts as they would now be able to convert their local currency to XRP and then convert XRP to the recipient's local currency instantaneously. And when you're doing this on a scale of billions and then scaling into the trillions, you need depth and liquidity, and you need that to be deep. I've said that in the past and I'll say it again. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we'll be back with another video.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch. I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.